So you can find somewhere. All right, we're going to welcome our guest, Reverend Graeme Sedorenko. Graeme, do you want to come up and we'll hear from you and get to know you a little bit better before you share with us a bit about your work with CMS. So Graeme, tell us a bit about yourself. Who's in your family?
So in my family there is my wife there, Julie, and my daughter Rebecca is there, and I have a son and a daughter-in-law called Joel and Jessica.
Wonderful. And you've been coming down here for a while. Tell us a bit about your connection with the area.
The only connection I have with the area is...
Us.
I've just been coming down here as a CMS rep, really, and I've done that, except for the last couple of years, because I couldn't get here on the day that you needed someone. And so last year Daniel Morris came, and the year before that Glenn Turner came, and the years before that were COVID. And so it's been probably 4 years since I was last here. But I do recognise some faces, and I've seen some of you guys, I remember some of you guys, but there's also some faces that I've never seen before, so that's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I have.
Yeah. So you said that your role is as a rep with CMS. Tell us a bit about what that looks like.
Okay, so my job is to actually partner missionaries and churches together. Although I didn't set up the partnership with the Apostolics and Jervis Bay, simply because I wasn't working with CMS then, so someone else set that up. But that's what I do. I actually go around and find churches that will partner with our missionaries. That's a part of it. And I do Sunday visits. And I also go on, like when Campbell came to here, this region, I actually caught up with him and said I'm the CMS guy, and had a cup of coffee with him, and sponged a coffee off him, and got him to think of me for the next time you need a CMS rep.
That's right. Well, it worked, didn't it? There you
yes,
go.
It did. Yeah.
All right. Well, Graeme's going to present to us a little bit about the work of CMS.
Now, I mightn't tell you anything different. You might already know this, but as our vision is that there would be a world that knows Jesus. And when you think of that vision, it's not CMS's vision, really. Well, it is, but we just stole it from God. It's really God's vision, isn't it? That he'd have a world that would know Jesus. And indeed, one day, the world will know Jesus, without a doubt. Our mission is to reach, equip, and engage. And by reaching, we mean the gospel poor peoples of the world for Christ. And gospel poor, what we mean by that is those who have little or no opportunity to hear about Jesus. Does anyone want to have a guess at how many people in the world might not know or have little opportunity to hear about Jesus? If you're here this morning, you can't put your hand up. Oh, you got your hand up, yes. Sold to the man leaning against the wall. $1 million. Oh. So there's about 3 billion people who have little or no opportunity to hear about Jesus. Nearly half the population, isn't it? Like there's 7.5 billion on planet Earth at the moment. So we've got a lot to do. We equip people. So some parts of the world, there are Christians popping out of the ground left, right and centre. Like in Madagascar, there was a pastor there who baptised 2,000 people in one day. So we've got this enormous amount of growth in some places, but there's very little people who are skilled to train and equip and disciple people. So we want to do that too. So that's the equip part. And then we want churches to engage in cross-cultural work and mission, and that's where you guys come in. You guys are cross-culturally working with us because you partner with us, and we're sending people overseas, and I'll talk a bit about that in a little while. Our distinctives are gospel priority, which is that's got to be a priority, don't you? Because if we don't have the gospel, what are we going to do? What's going to happen if we don't share the gospel with people? So we have a gospel priority. We're a cross-shaped life. So what does that mean? Cross-shaped means that we want our missionaries to actually not just speak the gospel, but to live the gospel. So it's no good being a Christian and saying, oh, I'm a Christian, I love Jesus, and then you go and do nothing that looks like you're a Christian, right? So we want to have a cross-shaped life, and we want that for everybody. You want that, I want that, we want that, and that's what we hope to do. Long term, we're actually saying we need missionaries to go long term, because you can appreciate the fact that just to go to another culture and to learn a culture takes a lot of effort. Now, I know, I've probably told you this before, but I've been learning English for the last over 60 years, and I still haven't mastered it. You know, my wife still says, no, wrong tense, Graeme, right? So imagine going to another culture. You've got to learn so much, so you need to be there long term so you can have the impact. In fact, some missionaries can go overseas and they can make the same mistake for 10 years because nobody will tell them on that location, right? So we train our missionaries before they go to look at culture and evaluate culture and to think about what's happening, not just to jump to conclusions, so then they can contextualise the gospel in that region. And we're in partnership, and that means we're in partnership with churches and with individuals, and it works like this. So CMS sees itself as a fellowship, and a fellowship is made up of CMS people, missionaries, churches, and households. And so what we'd say is anybody that's ever prayed for one of our missions or contributed financially or cared for one of our missionaries by sending a gift or emailing them or doing something, then you're a part of the CMS fellowship. That's just it. We are a fellowship. We're like-minded people who are engaged with the cross-cultural mission. I should say I'm very thankful that you're a part of our church, or fellowship I mean, that you guys are actually partnered with one of our missionaries, and when we were asked what would you give thanks for, well, I will give thanks for you guys who are partnering with one of our missionaries, the Apostolics. It's just so fantastic, and thank you, and we appreciate that muchly, and you're a part of it. We've got 235 missionaries out there so far, and when I first arrived, it hovered around 200, so we've gone up by 35, which is really exciting for me. We're only a small organisation, really, but we are impacting the world in a quite significant way. In fact, we got 235, but every single day, CMSA, the director, gets a phone call from somebody around the globe saying, can you please send us a missionary? Every single day. And that's important because those 235 missionaries are not us just going, get out there and do something. No, it's the country, the location saying, can you please send us a missionary? We need your help. And so we do that. So that's really exciting, isn't it? Since 2010, under God's leading, we've placed workers in 12 new countries. So, you know, some people think, oh, we don't send you to new places. Yes, we do. We're doing frontier work as well. We want people to go all over the globe. So, by the way, no matter what skills you have, if you want to become a missionary, I could find somewhere for you to go. Well, I can't, but someone else can. But if you come and talk to me, I'll pass your name on. Okay, so there's no skills not wanted or needed anywhere around our globe. They're our new locations, and a couple are blocked out because I can't really tell you where they are, but there they are. Now we have at present 827 churches partnered with Global Mission with CMS in cross-cultural mission, and that's very exciting. And again, I say thank you because you're one of those. You're one of those churches. And I think that's fantastic. 827 churches around the country, not all Anglican, all different denominations. And it's very exciting. I'll just leave you with this quote. No local church can afford to go without the encouragement and nourishment that will come to it by sending away its best people. Now, David, that's a quote from David Penman. Now, I want you to think about that for a minute. Like, I think if you had some really, really hot, on fire, strong Christians doing ministry in this place that you really loved and you just thought what they're doing is fantastic, you'd be reluctant to send them away, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? Come on, be honest, wouldn't you? You would, wouldn't you? You'd be saying, no, we're keeping them right here. Okay? It's pretty natural. Most churches say, we want to keep the best for us. But I want to encourage you to think about being a healthy church. A healthy church is not just growing in numbers. A healthy church is actually sending people away. Okay? As they come in, they're going out for Jesus in his name. And I want to encourage you to think about that. You should be looking at the ones around here and saying, which one of you guys have got the skills ready to go overseas? You know, and you should be encouraging them. And when you find someone that you think should be going overseas and they've got potential, you should say as a congregation, and we're going to back you 100% all the way. Right? We're going to be there with you on that journey. But I want to encourage you to think about that. The Apostle Paul, remember the Apostle Paul and Barnabas, they went up to Antioch in Acts 13 because there was this, outbreak of people becoming Christians, and they were so encouraged. They went up there and they had a prayer meeting, and the Holy Spirit said, set apart Paul and Barnabas for the mission. And so they sent them away. And I reckon if you had Paul and Barnabas here, imagine Barnabas, the great encourager. Imagine the Apostle Paul, brilliant teacher. You just go, no, you're not going anywhere. You're staying. No, set them apart. The Holy Spirit said, send them out. Okay, so I want to leave you with that, encourage you to keep on thinking mission-mindedly. And again, thank you for your partnership. It's much appreciated.
Good morning once again. The Old Testament reading is Psalm 90. Lord, you have been our dwelling place throughout